Go.
Thank you for joining Not a Great Whisperer podcast. I'm your host, Katie Ray. I have a very special guest today who I have known since high school. I have not seen in a while, but she was one of my favorite athletes in high school, and a lot of people that we went to high school with will know her when I introduce her. Jasmine Johnson, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, love having you. Thank you for answering my annoying emails and DMs I was reaching out to you for so long. I slid into your DM. Thanks for responding.
I don't get many of those nowadays.
We're older. It just doesn't work like that. So I love having you today. I love that you're still local. Again, we're at BKN Creative Studio in Ybor. And we are just going to talk about life, kind of how we met each other. I can't remember the first day. I just know you used to live in my old neighborhood. We lived in Clearwater.
Right.
And we both played sports, but you were Miss Soccer, but you played everything. But we'll get into that and kind of what you're going through right now and awareness of really everything you're going through. So love having you. So let's get started. Let's talk about your soccer career.
All right. Yeah. So I actually played for the Chargers initially. That's where I started at. And
the travel team, right?
Yeah, the Clearwater Chargers. So anyone who's from this
Shout out to
area
Chargers.
knows, yeah, exactly, knows who they are. And that's actually how I ended up going to CCC. One of the girls who played at the Chargers, her dad was a coach at CCC. So they actually got me a scholarship to be able to go there. And they told my mom, and my mom was like, yep, she's going. I was like, no, I don't want to go there.
Not a Catholic school. Why would you do this to me?
Right.
She's like, nope.
I mean, most of you guys all went to St. Cecilia's together and like had been together for a long time. So that was part of it, not being able to go to school with my own friends. Mm-hmm. But I knew I was there for soccer. And we always had a great soccer team. So being part of the soccer team actually was my way in to friends because they knew people and I was playing varsity my freshman year. So, you know, they were like,
athletics.
Oh, you're cool. You can come hang out with us, you know.
Yeah, because it's a small school. Exactly. So it's like, I was the popular fact chick.
Right, exactly.
I get it.
So
she's funny. Bring her on.
Yeah, you're always invited to the parties as a freshman. But when you're part of the soccer team, they let you tag
Oh my
along.
gosh, you're at every, yes.
Yeah, they don't mind.
That's true. Yeah, we shouldn't have been there at those times.
No.
That's good though. I was thankful. Yeah, I got a scholarship to go to after St. Cecilia's. It's definitely a investment.
Right.
So I'm glad having a smaller school. Right. But of course, for some people, the experience isn't always good. But again, I did sports like you, so you're totally right with teams. I mean, from your college experience, how close you were. So when you went to UF first, right?
Right.
Okay. You played soccer there.
Correct. So I was there my freshman, sophomore year. And I mean, same thing, like you were just saying, being an athlete, especially at a massive school like that, it just really condensed your world at that school because you're friends with all athletes. That's who you hang out with. That's who you eat with. That's who you have class with, you study with. You're with them all the time. So I feel like for a typical freshman, when you're going to a massive school, you can be overwhelmed quite easily. But I felt like we had our own family within the school. So that was a good thing about being part of the soccer
huge
program
school.
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like, so I might like jump ahead, but we'll go back to the diagnosis and everything. But I feel like your priorities were pretty, just how we kind of grew up and your priorities of like family, you had your little sisters because we always had parties when you're babysitting your sisters. But when you were diagnosed or figured out everything that was going, I feel like you weren't stuck in the materialistic life, even though we all get like that. Of course, you want nice things and things like that. But you had your priorities kind of straight about family, friends, things that like really were important. So it's kind of like kept you on this very, very strong path of like awareness. Do you feel like that? I know you have your down days and things like that, but like, don't you feel like you were strong when you heard the news at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think initially you're kind of, it's like a punch to the gut, but afterwards I feel like I just, even going all the way back to before I played soccer, doing gymnastics, and the type of people I was always around, and eventually going to CCC. And then I was always around people who had more than me. Mm-hmm. So having a lot didn't really faze me. It didn't impress me. I was never like, oh, I need this to keep up. Mm-hmm. Like, who I was is how I kept up. And so I felt like that's always taken me a lot further than any amount of money would have ever been able to take me, is just how I live life and the appreciation that I have for genuine people and genuine connections as well. So I think even now, a lot of, I talked about my roommates in college and teammates. They've always been important to me and important to my success, as little or as big as you may think it is. Having them there has really been extremely helpful.
And your energy brings people with good energy around. Yeah. And you're right, because I feel like I fell off a little bit in high school thinking like I needed that stuff and I needed to push for it and I needed to do this, or I just didn't always make the best decisions. Right. And that's why I always feel like you did always have that like strong backbone of just like, yeah, this is fun and all, but we don't really need this.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, I think that's huge. So since I jumped to that, and people will be confused when they're listening, after UF, you went to St. Leo?
Correct. So I was out of school for 3 years and then ended up going to St. Leo.
Okay.
To finish playing and graduate there.
Which you did.
Yes, I did. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
That was the goal. Initially, my goal was I wanted to finish college anyways. I knew a lot of people doubted me, especially after leaving UF. A lot of people just didn't think I would go back to school, period. They didn't think I would play again. Just a lot of doubt, I think, was.
So did St. Leo pick you up as an athlete?
Yes. So actually, during the summers while I was out of school for those 3 years, I would play summer soccer. So the 1 year I played for Tampa Bay Hellenic, they developed a semi-pro women's team. Oh, awesome. And so you have a lot of girls that are in college that want to play during the summer, stay in shape, or you have girls who have graduated but they still want to play at a high level. So we, towards the end of our season, the end of the summer, colleges are in their preseason for soccer. So they look out for games and, quick games they can play. And we played against St. Leo, and my coach at the time, George Fotopoulos, he was like, you have your transcripts now. Ask the coach if he has any money. This is what you told me that you wanted to do. You want to finish college. And so we played them. After the game, I went and asked him.
I love that.
Yeah, he was like, I'll find money for you. He was like,
what's the worst he could say? No.
Well, he was like, exactly. And he was like, you probably don't even remember, but I sent you letters when you were in high school. And I was like, I didn't open, if it wasn't from Florida, I didn't open anything.
Wow. He's like, no, I like you. I've actually been trying to get you on our team for years.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, I'll find money. Trust me.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy how life works.
Right. So that fall, I had to make up credits.
Those are fun.
For that. Yeah, exactly. Never fun. Especially after being out of school for 3 years. And I'm like, what? Write a paper.
What?
I've written a paper in 3 years.
Am I using Microsoft Word on this? What am I doing?
APA. I'm going to need help.
Oh, you were out for 3 years.
Yeah.
You were playing at that pro league.
Yeah, just during
the
semi-pro.
Summer.
Yeah, just during the summer. I mean, I was working at Busch Gardens. Yeah. I was doing all types of things.
Yeah. I love that you finished.
So I went there, and that spring I did those credits, and then that next summer I started preseason and got into the season, and that's kind of when I started feeling different.
Fatigue.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I know I haven't played like a college season in a while, but
you were playing.
I'm not this out of shape. I actually felt good not that long ago.
And you're super in shape, like forever, your whole life.
I look like it sometimes. I'm not always actually in shape. If you ask me to run, you'll be surprised. Trust me. And so I was super fatigued, like had no recovery in me, would get these extremely, really bad migraines. They would last for like 12, 24 hours, honestly, at times. And eventually they sent me to get some blood work done. And that's when Actually, I'll never forget the day. Went to class, dropped my book bag off, phone rings, and my trainer's like, you need to go to your training room, get your blood work results. And I was like, all right, I'll go after class. She's like, no, you need to go right now. And I'm like, oh, crap. What? I was like, I don't think I smoked.
Scary.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't smoke.
I didn't smoke before this test.
Right. I was like, I
oh
really
my gosh,
haven't. I was like,
so scary.
I don't think I was drinking the night before. I don't really remember.
Yeah, you're like,
but
why do I need to go?
I'm of age. So, I mean, coach can be upset, but we've told him we're not going to have a dry season anyway.
Oh my gosh. Everything in your head was all like, did I just get in trouble?
Right. Definitely was like, did I get in trouble? And I remember for a split second, I was like, I thought of my grandmother because my grandma had she had leukemia and passed when I was younger. So, but I was like, no, I'm definitely in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
And so I go there and the trainer, he's like, so they said your white count is at 232,000. I'm like nodding, like, okay.
Yeah, like you're supposed to know that.
I'm not a doctor. What are you saying? He's like, they think you have leukemia. And I like felt like everything just stopped and I looked at him and I was like, fuck you. And I just walked out. And I was like, I'm not dealing with this. And I walked out. I went back to class. Obviously, I'm like upset at this point. Grabbed my bag and I'm at St. Leo. We're Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I just realized this the other day when I was talking to someone. I wasn't even like aware, but I ended up going to the chapel and sitting right outside the chapel and was like just crying. But apparently my trainer, she had called my roommates and she was like, find Jasmine. She needs you.
Yeah. Is this the one you just left the office from or another trainer? Who told you about the leukemia? So this was our actual trainer. Okay, so Barb Wilson was our actual trainer. Who called your roommates? Okay. Yeah. So she called them, I think, after she called me. And so they ended up finding me. They like left class, found me, told them, they started crying. We went and sat, and honestly, it feels like 5 minutes later, we were like making jokes and laughing. Yeah. And just kind of like, all right, well, my one roommate just tore an ACL. We're like, well, you just tore your ACL. I have cancer, and this is what life is right now. You're 18 barely still. Yeah. And this is life. So hello. Let's just do this.
Right. The worst part was that they didn't really have a plan. It was kind of like, try this. She's on her school insurance. This school insurance isn't going to cover that. School insurance really is for if you get injured. Yep. As an athlete, it's not for disease or sickness. So they were kind of blindsided, not knowing where to steer you. Right. And so our assistant coach at the time, she's actually from Canada. So we all know their healthcare system's totally different than ours. It's a little. And she was like kind of appalled, like, so you just told her this. You didn't think about it. And now you kind of scared the crap out of this 23, 24-year-old. And you have no plan. Yep. Like, and because she doesn't have insurance, like that's, to her, it was bullshit really, to her. Yeah, she's just like, what are you doing? I don't get that. This isn't good enough. And we're going to figure something out. So I don't know who she talked to or yelled at or cussed out, but eventually they got me into Moffitt that same day. So went there and saw the doctors. They did some more blood work. And I mean, they're talking and everything's going in one ear, out the other. Of course. Like, one, you're saying these words and I don't even know them. Two, I don't even want to talk about this right now anyways. And three, we have a game today. So can I go? And that's all you really needed. Yeah. Can I go play? What I love to do. At that time, I was like, I need to be on the field. Like that's, I'm either going to be on the field or I'm going to be in a bar drinking. Yeah. I would rather be on the field right now, but again, the bar drinking will be fine. So the doctor's like, you can't play. And I'm like, I've been playing. Like, yeah, I'm tired, but I need to play. And he's like, no, your spleen's enlarged. It may rupture. We have to, do bone marrow biopsy, see exactly what's going on. And we can't have you risking being on the field right now. Wow. So I think that was more of a blow to me than being told that I had leukemia. That you had to stop playing. Yeah, exactly. So and it was kind of like, everything was like, I've been out of school for 3 years, kind of busting my ass to get back into school. so I can graduate and play. I've missed it so much, and now you're taking both things away from me. It felt like this was how things were going to end. Like, just with me having cancer and not being able to play, me wasting these last 3 years is what it felt like. So I had to redshirt that year. And like I said, me and my roommate, we literally probably drank close to every day. Like, well, can't do anything else. Don't want to go.
They won't let us work out. They won't let us do anything.
Exactly. So that was a rough year.
Well, yeah.
To be honest. But I ended up coming back and playing the next 2 seasons. But it was like a up and down roller coaster where I'm good. And then, nope, I'm getting sick again. Good and getting sick again.
And you feel so good when you're good. And then you get hit with like fatigue or.
Well, and the worst part, like my good right now is great. I never was this good when I was still in school. I was still pretty like, my white count was still like in the 100,000s. I mean, the lowest I feel like I remember it getting down to was 50,000 maybe. Like a typical white blood count's going to be between 9 to 11,000. So my white count was always high when I was in school. So I was never great.
Okay.
And I think if the doctors actually knew like how intense college soccer is, they probably wouldn't have let me play. But they'd be like, well, you can play, but I'm like, all right, yep, you said I can play.
Oh, yeah, because they're not playing. They don't know how much running you're doing.
They don't know how physical it is. They really have no idea. So they allowed me to play, so I played. So I ended up playing my last 2 years and graduating. So. And
you've been diagnosed now for 9 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And you've been feeling the best now? Do you think it's the medication? What do you feel like it is?
I think a big part of it is the medication. I think bigger than that is the fact that I've been able to keep my insurance good long enough to consistently get seen.
Yeah.
So I've been able to consistently get my medication, and I've consistently been able to take it.
Have you had times where you've had gaps to not be able to get your meds?
Yeah. And that's why I would get sick. And so then when I'm not taking it, then my body becomes immune to it. So then it doesn't work anymore.
They should just be giving it to you. That shit makes me so upset.
Yeah. And I've gotten in those arguments like with the pharmaceutical company. Like I still have cancer, whether I can see my doctor or not. I don't understand why you think not giving me my medication is the right thing to do.
Yeah. How are you even living your life every day?
Right. So I literally would be like, well, I have 1 bottle left. I don't know when I'm going to go back. So I'll take 1 pill this week. Instead of taking
to span it out for yourself to try to feel better.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously that's not how the medication is supposed to be taken. So I would end up in the hospital for a couple weeks. And
that's your survival.
Then I'd be out of work. And so it was just, it was a cycle. Honestly, the last time I was in the hospital was 2016.
Oh, wow.
And I was in there at that time the longest. I was in there for, I think, 28 days.
And that's because of your blood count? Or?
Yeah. Okay. So my white blood count was, I don't even remember that. I think it was like 250,000. And the problem was that I was on the 3rd medication that was out there at the time, 3rd out of 4. And they couldn't get my white count to come down. Like typically they give me like intensive medication when I'm in the hospital.
And it drops down.
And it drops down. But this time it wasn't dropping as quickly as it typically does. And so they were also using this technique where they like take my blood out and they kind of scrape the excess white blood cells out of my blood and they pump the blood back in me. So I literally did this with this huge machine. It was made so much noise for like 2 hours a day. And that was every day, except for like maybe the last 5 days that I was in there.
Wow.
And every day they take my blood in the morning, take it during the day, take it at night. Like I look like an addict. My arms
your
were all
arms
tracked up. And I already have bad veins as it is. So being on the IV and all of that for
that
so
long.
Yeah.
But they did it. It worked.
It worked. So it got down low enough to where they let me leave the hospital. And then it was just kind of a battle. Honestly, even just this, I want to say maybe last fall, I was back at Social Security office arguing with them about why my insurance isn't good. And I was like, I'm not going to let it go this long without a fight because I'm getting better and I can't afford to not be good.
You feel better.
Right. So, because I mean, I've had to quit jobs. I've had to stop coaching at times mid-season. It's a burden. It's just a
Isn't this kind of surreal when you talk about it all the time? You're 34. You've now experienced what a lot of people experience, just insurance and medication and going through and just telling your story so much just to create awareness. Does it sometimes feel out of body for you when you talk about it? Or have you it's been 9 years now, so it's like different?
It is because I never really talked about it.
Oh.
I think that's why I've had so many people contact me now like, oh, I had no idea you're going through this. Like, even people that see me on a regular basis, like, I had no idea. Like, they'll just not see me for a while and think, oh, she was just staying in, working, like,
doing her thing.
Busy. Right. But a lot of times, like that last time, I lost 30 pounds. So I was like super tiny and nothing fit. Like, I didn't like going places because if I did see somebody, they were like, oh, you're dieting? Like,
no.
You know, and I was like, no, but I'm not going to get into it. So you can just,
exactly.
Yeah, sure, I'm on a diet, you know. But actually, one of my friends I went to St. Leo with after the 2016 hospital stay, he saw me and he was like, you good? And I was like, he said that or he died. And I was like, no. And then he shot me a text later. He's like, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know, that's just how I am. I've never wanted people to feel bad for me.
Yeah.
So it's always been kind of like,
I don't feel bad for you. I'm inspired by you.
Right. I
think it's crazy. It was crazy to hear the first time when I read the story. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Jasmine? Like, it was just like shocking that you had been going through it for so long and nobody heard about it, you know, the Facebook reel or the something.
Right.
But I think it's I think it's inspiring that you did just kind of go with it. You didn't want to bring a burden onto somebody else, but it's not really a burden. You're making awareness for what a lot of people go through. And you've probably met younger people too that are going through cancer that have probably reached out to you, and you're just making an impact. Like, you're helping someone else finish their story.
Right. And I feel like that it took me looking at my story that way of being like, I don't know, maybe I can help. One, I need help and I don't like asking for help. So that was, like I said, I don't never want people to feel bad for me. So that was a big part of it. But it came to a point where it's like, I have to pay for this stuff to get it done. And I need help.
Yep.
And
that's courage.
Yeah. And then the other part was there should be more Black people in the registry. Like, that's insane that people don't know about it.
Oh, yeah, because of Be the Match. We didn't bring up.
And I'm like, why aren't they reaching? Like, why aren't people doing something about this? And I think we have a lot of that in this country in general. Like, we can all
turn your head. Yep.
Yeah, we can all complain about things, but it's like, one, we don't even know how to initiate a fix. But two, it's like, I thought about it, but that's too much work.
Someone else will do it.
Exactly. We always put it on somebody else and hoping somebody else does it. So for me, this has been pretty amazing to see how many people have reached out. And I think as we get older, it's important for us to find things that we're passionate about to keep us moving. I mean, I've been obsessed with soccer for the last 20 some odd years. And I just played Monday and my body still hurts from it. So we can't keep doing the things we used to love to do as we get older. And it's like, well, what can I be passionate about? And I feel like this is something that moving forward, I'll definitely be passionate about.
You are passionate about it. That when I read that statistic, what was it, 4% African Americans?
Yeah.
On the registry, right? Yeah. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
I mean, but in general, I didn't even know about the registry.
Exactly.
And it's just blood work at first, right? And the hip bone marrow thing doesn't happen until...
No, it's just a swab. They send you a swab kit. You swab both sides of your cheek and you put it back in there and send it back and you're in the registry. So it's really easy.
Yeah.
And then if you are a match to someone, then you do the blood work. And then
further testing to make sure you're a full match.
Correct.
And are you waiting for that for your bone marrow transplant?
They haven't found a full match.
Have your sisters tried?
don't have the best relationship with my siblings. So
I only remember them when they were like 5.
Right. Yeah, you remember them being sweet people. They're not, we get older, we're not always as sweet as we came out.
Sometimes you turn a little.
Yeah, you get a little sour
Yeah.
as years go by. Honestly, I didn't even feel comfortable asking any of my siblings to get tested. Like I said, we just don't have the best relationship, and I really wouldn't even ask them for $1. Unfortunately, that's just a relationship I have with them, which is why my friends have been my family a lot of my life.
And that can happen. You remove toxic people, and friends fill that family spot, and that's amazing that you have that type of support. But I think just this awareness, and I mean, I had no idea about Be The Match. It's .com or .org?
I believe it's .com.
BeTheMatch.com. You literally send in a swab. They're not doing a drug test, so don't worry about it. Or all those other people out there, don't worry about that. You're like, why are they taking my DNA?
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, just do it. But 4%, I feel like it's kind of lighting a fire under you, though, with everything you've gone through with the medication wise, as well as the low percentage of matches that you can get right now. I feel like it's just lighting a fire under you to get the word out more. And help other people. I mean, at the end of the day, you're helping yourself, but you're helping so many other people.
Exactly.
That feel like they have nowhere to turn.
Right. And it is .org. So BeTheMatch.org.
You were like, Google.
Right. Google. Just
like,
Google it. Any question, Google it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely has, lit a fire under my ass.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's under your ass. For sure. My ass?
Yeah. I definitely feel like it's awareness. People don't know. I don't think a lot of people hear about it and be like, oh, I'm not doing that. Fuck that.
It's so easy.
I don't care about helping somebody for free.
For free. Just literally.
Why wouldn't you? We stop on the side of the road and give $1 here and there. I think we could do a swab of the cheek and send it back in the mail. We're on our phones anyways. It takes literally 5 minutes for you to register. And
I know.
It's pretty simple to get in the registry.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I find it
time consuming. It's going to be for someone, but it's time that you're giving someone back in their life.
I was going to say, when you think about what the possibility is to save someone's life, I again, not saying there's nobody out there that will say no, but I find it hard that if you get called on, you'll be like, no, save a baby's life. That pass.
Yeah, no thanks.
Fuck the kids.
Fuck the kids. Trick love the kids.
Right.
I think you're totally right. And as much as it sucks to say, my friend Jasmine has leukemia, I think you're going to be a voice for a lot of people. And I do think miracle's on its way, and someone's going to go on Be The Match, and someone's going to match up, and then you'll get that bone marrow transplant. That is not easy. No one's saying like, oh yeah, in and out, see ya.
Yeah.
It's a lot of recovery. You're probably out of work for a while. You're going back and forth, getting checkups, making sure it worked, making sure everything's good. But again, that's your life. And then you're already living it with so much inspiration for the people around you that somebody helping you with that is just helping you lead a further life of inspiration. Like it's not a bad, I don't know how people could just like think, when you said 4%, it just like totally throws me off.
Right.
Because I'm like, that's so low.
Right.
Like it's so low. That means no one just reached out. No one wants to do it. Someone else will do it. It's fine.
Right.
So I'm going to do my swab. Why not?
Oh, I actually should have brought you on.
You should have brought, you had him?
They sent me.
Yours is probably like a drug test. You're going to check me out.
They sent me 20 to do on site for tomorrow. So,
I might be
have those too. Yeah.
That's good. Oh yeah. So this will be aired after your run, your runathon. So I hope the runathon goes amazing.
Right.
I hope it's already been great. But I like how you're doing that. I think you should do more of those. Those events are really good for just the community. Even like, I mean, if they do that for you for another 20, we could do like a breakfast to get people out.
Right.
It's really just awareness right now. And do you feel, did they say like the only thing left, are you going to have to start chemo? The only thing left is a bone marrow transplant. Like, what are your options?
So right now, the way they've looked at it is that the medication I'm on right now I'm on the 4th medication. It's the last one that's out there. And they're like, it's kind of masking. It's like putting a Band-Aid over a wound that's not healing. So
it's like keeping you stable,
right,
but it's not helping.
It's keeping my blood count stable. But when they go and do a bone marrow biopsy, they actually still are seeing new mutations each time, which means it's not getting rid of the cancer itself. So their decision to do a bone marrow transplant was with the thought that maybe 10 years this medication works, maybe 10 months this medication keeps working. But why wait till it stops working? Because when you're actually really sick, the chemo that you have to do prior is way worse than what I'll have to do going into they have to like get you back stable before they can even give you a bone marrow transplant. Mm-hmm. So they're like, you're stable right now. You're healthy.
Get ahead of it.
You're a good age. Let's do it now. That way we can kind of get it out of the way in your 30s versus your 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
So that's that. Right now, they're going to use my mom unless something pops up before the date is set. I mean, the date is set for August 25th. So wow. I'm like now less than a month out.
Wow.
So they'll check, I believe, right before to see if there's a full match again. Because when they looked initially, they were like, well, we had 3 partials, but they did the further blood work and they weren't full matches. So your parents will each be a half match and they'll do half matches.
But they're not sure what the result will be with half matches.
I mean, they have like, they say that they're pretty successful with them. But I do believe a full match is better than a half match. So they'll look right before my mom gives her stem cells. And if not, they'll just continue with the process as planned.
So your mom will come down here for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's set to go into Moffitt the 18th.
Wow. I didn't know that was all set already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to put, okay. That's a lot of stuff. And then after the bone marrow, is there there's not radiation, right? They just keep testing you to make sure it took or what?
Not radiation, but chemo.
Chemo. Okay.
And the chemo will be to kill anything else that's trying to develop. Prior to it, they actually going to strip my entire immune system because they're putting someone else's in. And so there's a lot of chance of my body rejecting it. And so a lot of the medication that I'll be on will be to prevent that. So same as if anyone even has like a liver transplant, they have to take medication to make sure that there's no rejection. So I'll be in the hospital for 3 weeks afterwards. And then I'll be in and out probably on a daily basis. For like recovery is about 90 days.
Okay. That's a good amount of time, but you're young and the timing is probably better than if you were older and just a longer recovery time and you're super healthy. Well, sometimes probably. Yeah. But okay. I mean, that's a process and you got to do it, right? What do you think the greatest thing so far you've learned throughout this journey?
I think the greatest thing is that vulnerability isn't bad, to be vulnerable to people and to show people who you are, even the soft sides, the weak sides of you, doesn't make you weak. I think we all have parts of ourselves that we tend to keep to ourselves. We don't want to be shamed. We don't want people to, we don't want to be treated. Yeah, we don't want to be treated differently. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I found that you can be vulnerable and you can be strong at the same time.
Mm-hmm. That is strength.
Yeah.
I love that. And do you have any little things that you do for inspiration wise, like music, quotes, people, like, is there stuff that you do on your days where it's rougher? Everybody goes through it, right? Ups and downs. Is there any like go-to for you?
I mean, honestly, like I just told you, I went and played
soccer.
Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, that still does it for me.
The field.
Honestly, just being there, being free, not having to think about everything else.
You're just playing.
Right. Hanging out with my friends, music, dancing. Same thing. I do it one night and I'm like, man, I'm sore. So these are things that I like doing that my body may not like as much anymore. But
damn it, I'm older.
But the other thing is probably the beach. So my places are the field or the beach. Yeah, being on the beach, just riding by the water. I think it's one of the. I say it on multiple occasions, riding across the bridge. Like, how are you like angry, or how are you not smiling? Like, look at this. Like, this is beautiful.
So true. Like, this is our view. Right, what the hell's happening? Like, I love that. I did it the other day. I was pissed, and then I was driving over the bridge, and I'm like, this is where I live.
Right. You're like,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Like, okay, it's not that bad. Life's okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you joined. Jasmine's Journey is your GoFundMe. Your runathon will already be passed, but if there's any other events, we'll keep posted. It'll be on my page. What is your Instagram?
Instagram is Varshay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
V as in Vicky, ARSHAY 12. So you can go there.
Oh my God, we had the same lucky number, didn't we? Was 12 your number throughout school? No, I was like, mine was.
No, mine was 2 or 13.
2, got it.
12 was for the year I graduated. So you go there. I mean,
2012.
I feel like I'm getting older, so I feel obnoxious posting all the time. But from time to time, I have things on there.
Well, they can get your other links from there. Yeah, and events. I know. What's your handle? Every time I say it, I'm like, what?
While you're at it, follow me here.
But you'll catch Jasmine on Not a Great Whisperer. Definitely follow her. Definitely do bethematch.org. And kind of look out for postings about that. It's really awareness, education. No one says you have to know everything. But I love that you shared your journey. Is there any last things you'd like the audience to know?
No, honestly, that's the most important thing. Do it, not even just for me, do it for anybody. I think at this point, all of us have been touched by cancer one way or another. And I know this is one way that we can actually start helping.
Yep. And it sucks.
Right.
But it's just really helping each other. It's loving humans.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you for joining Not a Great Whisperer. I hope you come back on. You do guest hosts or whatever you want to do. And I will pray for you, especially with this procedure coming up. Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank you.